If you've ever felt like the family underdog, hit like and subscribe, you won't want to miss what comes next. I'm Rebecca Chin, and for over 3 decades, I was the failure in my family, the daughter who wasted her physics degree on a dull nonprofit job, while my younger sister Amanda built a tech empire. I was the disappointment living in a small apartment while Amanda moved into a penthouse. The invisible one at family events, often ignored. What nobody realized, not my parents, not Amanda, not anyone, was that my nonprofit role was a carefully designed facade. For 8 years, I was actually the managing director at Cascade Venture Partners, one of North America's most elite venture capital funds. We oversaw $80 billion, backed 17 unicorns, and our investment committee shaped industries. I decided which startups flourished and which floundered. They had no idea, because I never told them. And each family gathering tested my resolve. It all began 15 years ago when I graduated MIT with a 3.9 GPA in physics. My parents threw a party, but all attention went to Amanda's latest app idea. She was 17, still in high school, and already a prodigy. Rebecca will work at a research lab, Dad said, masking his disappointment. Stable, I suppose. But Amanda? She's building something meaningful. I had offers from SpaceX, NASA, top national labs, but I took a junior analyst role at a small, unknown venture capital firm. My parents were horrified. You spent 4 years at MIT for this? Mom asked. Amanda could have done that without college. Amanda patted my shoulder. Don't worry, Becca. Not everyone's meant for high-level stuff. Someone's got to manage the groundwork. I smiled quietly. They didn't understand that venture capital wasn't about visibility, it was about insight. My physics training wasn't wasted, it was my secret weapon. I spent 3 years mastering the business, evaluating startups, analyzing founders, understanding markets, negotiating term sheets. 70-hour weeks, studying successes and failures, building connections. By 25, I was a principal. By 28, a partner. By 30, managing director. After spinning out from the parent fund, I had the final word on all investments. My signature could turn a garage startup into a billion-dollar company. My pay, $2.3 million plus $4 to $7 million in carried interest yearly. One quantum computing investment alone returned $47 million for me. I owned my apartment building, held $12 million in investment properties, and had retirement accounts exceeding $30 million. At 32, I had more wealth than my parents could hope to see in their lifetimes, and I let them think I worked at a simple nonprofit focused on STEM scholarships. I drove an old Subaru, dressed conservatively, lived frugally, and presented exactly as they expected, the boring daughter. Meanwhile, Amanda's career exploded. She launched a social analytics startup at 19, raised $15 million by 25, and was featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 and TechCrunch by 28. Family dinners became endless recaps of her successes. And Rebecca, still at the nonprofit? They'd ask. Yes, I'd reply politely. We gave some scholarships this quarter. I watched. I listened. What they didn't know, Amanda's company was struggling. Growth stalled, competitors ate market share, and cash burn was critical. She needed a $35 million Series C round to survive. 6 months ago, Amanda announced proudly at dinner, Series C, $35 million target. Meetings with Tier 1 funds. Big growth ahead. Dad toasted her. To Amanda, the true entrepreneur. I didn't respond. I already knew, Cascade Venture Partners was one of the few funds that could write that check, and eventually, her pitch would come before me. 3 weeks ago, my assistant Marco said, Rebecca, you need to see this. New Series C application, Chin Analytics Group. Founder, Amanda Chin. I took a deep breath. The moment I'd been waiting for had arrived. I spent 6 hours analyzing her 147-page application, financials, market research, team bios. The numbers were worrying, revenue growth only 12%, industry standard, 100%, high customer acquisition costs, churn rate 18%, cash runway 6 months. Pre-money valuation request, $180 million. Market comps suggested $80 to $100 million. My partner confirmed, risky, borderline, might survive only with pivoting. I scheduled the investment committee meeting for Thursday. Amanda didn't know I'd be there. The night before, she flaunted her excitement at family dinner with her COO, Trevor. Thursday's the big day. We're pitching Cascade Venture Partners, she boasted. Mom gushed. My daughter playing in the big leagues. I nodded, outwardly supportive. Inside, I was preparing to decide her fate. Thursday arrived. I dressed in a sharp Armani suit, Hermes watch, minimal jewelry. The boardroom overlooked the city skyline. Term sheets from billion-dollar investments adorned the walls. My 4 partners joined me, Jordan, Lisa, David, Priya, 90 years of combined VC experience. At 1:55 p.m., Marco escorted Amanda and Trevor in. Amanda scanned the room nervously, Trevor exuded confidence. They didn't see me, sitting at the far end, backlit by sunlight, just another investor in the room. Amanda began her pitch. Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Amanda Chin, founder and CEO of Chin Analytics Group, and this is Trevor Wong, COO. We're thrilled to. Before we start, Jordan interrupted, his tone calm but commanding, let me introduce the investment committee. I'm Jordan Park, senior partner. To my left, Lisa Martinez, partner specializing in B2B SaaS. David Knowles, partner in enterprise software. Priya Desai, partner overseeing portfolio operations. He then turned toward me. Recognition flashed across Amanda's face. At the head of the table sat the person with final say on any investment over $20 million, Rebecca Chin, managing director. The room went still. Amanda's mouth parted. Her eyes widened. The laptop remote slipped from her hand with a sharp clatter. Rebecca, she whispered, voice trembling. What? I asked, maintaining my composure. You thought I worked for a nonprofit, right? I did, I said evenly. I lead the Cascade Foundation, our nonprofit branch. But for the last 8 years, my primary role has been managing director at Cascade Venture Partners. I gestured around the room. This is my fund. Trevor turned pale. Your sister. Rebecca Chin. The Rebecca Chin? Amanda glanced at him, confused. What are you talking about? She's legendary in VC, Trevor muttered. She backed Quantum Dynamics, Neural Path, 6 unicorns. Perfect track record. Amanda's expression shifted rapidly, shock, disbelief, a hint of betrayal. You never told us. You let us believe. I let you believe exactly what you assumed, I said calmly. You thought I was a nonprofit employee because that's what you wanted to see. I never corrected you because I wanted to know if my family would value me for who I am, not the job I do. Memories of my parents' words echoed, not your world. The only real entrepreneur in this family. Not everyone is meant for high-level work. I shifted back into professional mode. You're requesting $35 million at a $180 million pre-money valuation. I've reviewed your materials. Let's assess if Cascade Venture Partners is the right partner for Chin Analytics Group. Amanda froze. Trevor gripped her arm. Yes, pitch, she murmured, straightening. The presentation started poorly. Amanda stumbled through slides she'd rehearsed countless times, now faltering in front of her secret investor sister. Numbers that sounded confident at home came out weak, ambitious projections sounded desperate. Trevor tried to assist, but every glance at me made Amanda more anxious. After 15 minutes, I raised a hand. Amanda, pause for a moment. I have some questions. Relieved, she nodded. Your deck shows 12% year-over-year growth, yet you're asking for a valuation that assumes 100% growth. How do you reconcile that? She hesitated. We're positioned for acceleration. The market is consolidating. I pressed on. Your top 3 competitors have raised far more and are outspending you tenfold on customer acquisition. How will you compete? Amanda whispered, our analytics are superior. Lisa interjected. Are they? Compared to our portfolio company DataStream, your feature set is 73% identical, and they're integrating AI faster. Trevor tried, but our customer satisfaction. David cut in. It's not enough. Your net promoter score is 47, industry leaders are 65 plus. Customers leave nearly as fast as they join. There's a product market fit problem. I watched Amanda's composure falter. Professional scrutiny is far harsher than family praise. Priya added, your team lost 3 executives in a year. VP of Engineering, Head of Sales, CFO. What happened? Growing pains, Amanda said quickly. Disagreements on strategy. I replied calmly, I spoke with your former VP of Engineering. She confirmed your leadership split between enterprise and mid-market strategy cost 6 months and key talent. Amanda's eyes widened. You spoke to my former employees? It's my job to do due diligence, I said simply. Jordan nodded, then turned to Amanda. Miss Chin, your company isn't failing, but it's not thriving. The $35 million won't fix the core issues, it'll only prolong them. I leaned forward. However, there's a path forward. It requires honesty and tough decisions. I handed over a folder. Here's my analysis: solid technology, a passionate team, 73 enterprise clients, low churn among long-term customers. Your problem isn't the product, it's focus. You're trying to serve mid-market and enterprise, consulting and analytics, US and international. It's too scattered. Trevor studied the documents. My recommendation: pivot to enterprise only. Drop unprofitable mid-market clients, target Fortune 500s, hire a new CRO with enterprise experience, rebuild engineering around AI-enhanced analytics. Amanda's attention sharpened. But the pivot needs $18 million, not $35 million, I continued. Your valuation should be $90 million pre-money, not $180 million. Overvaluing your company is misleading. You're no longer early stage, you're stuck in the middle, which demands new metrics. I slid another sheet across. With $18 million and this pivot, your odds of hitting $50 million ARR in 2 years are 68%. You'd then raise Series D at $400 to $500 million or be an attractive acquisition at 8-10x revenue. David added, that requires admitting gaps, bringing in experienced leaders, and dropping customers that feel successful but hold you back. Amanda looked at Trevor, then me. If you refuse, Cascade passes, I said. In 6 months, you'll raise under worse conditions, likely a down round or bridge financing at harsh terms. That path slowly kills the company. Amanda's voice was small. Why didn't you tell me before? We could have addressed this months ago. Would you have listened? I asked quietly. Would you have considered advice from your nonprofit working sister, the one you thought wasn't in the big leagues? Her eyes welled. I assumed you wouldn't understand. I wanted to see if you'd value me as a person, Amanda. You never asked about my work or life. You assumed it didn't matter. Each example of past dismissals landed hard: Thanksgiving discussions dominated by Amanda, Christmas toasts celebrating her, Easter remarks dismissing me. Tears streaked her face. I'm not being cruel, I softened. I'm showing you that success is more than money, it's character, respect, and leadership. But here's the offer, I continued. Not as your sister, but as an investor, Cascade will invest $18 million at $90 million pre-money if 3 conditions are met. I slid the term sheet across. First, hire an executive coach and meet weekly for 6 months. Develop as a leader before scaling. Second, accept our nomination of a board member with enterprise experience to challenge your comfort zone. Third, implement the strategic pivot, drop unprofitable segments and rebuild your executive team. Amanda's hands shook as she took the sheet. These terms are non-negotiable. Accept, and funding arrives next week. Decline, and cascade is out. No exceptions. Jordan added context. Typically, 200 pitches are reviewed per investment. Your company is borderline. Only Rebecca sees enough value to make this a deal. Amanda looked at me, tears streaming. Why help me after everything? Because you're my sister, I said simply. And because Grandma Lynn taught me that family means guiding people to who they can be, not punishing them for who they've been. But this is business, not family favor, I concluded firmly. If you take the funds and fail to execute, I will replace you as CEO. I'll protect our investment and your employees. Even if it meant protecting them from themselves. Amanda wiped her eyes. That's fair, she whispered. You have 48 hours to decide, I said. Talk to Trevor. Talk to your board. Think carefully about whether you're ready to admit you need help. And Amanda, I looked her in the eye, your company can be saved. The real question is whether your pride is ready to let it happen. The meeting ended. Trevor practically escorted Amanda out, she looked completely shell-shocked. After they left, Lisa leaned back. Wow. That was intense. Are you okay? I am, I said honestly. This had to happen, one way or another. Do you think she'll accept the terms? Pri asked. I give it 50-50, I said. She's smart enough to know it's her best move. But pride can make people stubborn. Jordan nodded slowly. Rebecca, that was perfect. Firm, fair, professional, yet human. This is why you're the best at what you do. I gathered my notes and returned to my office. Below the floor-to-ceiling windows, the city stretched endlessly, countless businesses fighting to survive, to grow, to matter. 90 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Mom's number. I hesitated, then answered. Rebecca, she said tightly. Amanda just told us everything. How could you embarrass her like that in front of her team? She's devastated. I didn't embarrass her, Mom. I gave her honest feedback about her business. You could have told us. All these years, you let us believe. I let you believe exactly what you assumed, I replied calmly. You thought my career didn't matter, that Amanda was the only success worth noticing. Silence followed. I'm offering Amanda the best deal she'll get, I continued. I'm putting my reputation on the line. I'm giving her access to resources most founders would kill for. And I'm doing it because she's my sister, and because I believe she can become the leader her company needs. But you're framing this as if she's failed. No, Mom. I'm making her confront reality. There's a difference. I heard Dad in the background, voice muffled, angry. Dad wants to talk to you, Mom said. I know what he'll say, I replied. That I'm vindictive, that I should support family unconditionally, that Amanda deserves better from her sister. Tell him this, for 32 years, he celebrated her achievements while dismissing mine. He toasted her as the only real entrepreneur in this family, without ever asking about what I accomplished. 15 years ago, he lost the right to my professional respect. Mom sighed. I have another call. If Amanda needs to discuss the term sheet, she has my office number, I said, then ended the call. The next 48 hours were quiet. I buried myself in work, 2 pitch meetings, portfolio board calls, strategy sessions. I didn't obsessively check my phone or emails. My offer was on the table, it was her choice. Thursday afternoon, Marco rushed in. Rebecca, Amanda Chin is here. She wants to talk if you have a moment. Send her in. Amanda appeared, exhausted, no makeup, messy ponytail, hoodie and jeans. Not the CEO I'd faced in the boardroom, but the sister I remembered from college. I'm taking the deal, she said immediately. All conditions, the money, the board seat, the pivot, the executive coach. Everything. Sit down. Let's go over the timeline, I said. She collapsed into the chair across from me. Trevor and I spent 2 days running the numbers. You were right, valuation, pivot, team. We've been lying to ourselves for over a year about how well things were going. That's common, I said. Founders often struggle to see their companies objectively. It's more than that, Amanda said, voice cracking. I focused on being the golden child, the success story, and neglected actually running the company. I made decisions to impress others, not to succeed. I treated you terribly because it made me feel superior. I stayed silent, listening. Grandma Lynn told me I had a gift for seeing patterns, Amanda continued. She said I could build something meaningful if I learned humility. I never got it. I thought confidence and humility were opposites. They're not, I said softly. Confidence is knowing your strengths. Humility is knowing what you still need to learn. You need both to succeed long term. Amanda nodded, tears streaming. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know I'll do the work, the coaching, the pivot, everything. Not to prove anything to Mom or Dad, but to prove it to myself. That's the right reason, I said. I handed her a folder. Here's what happens next: Standard Series C term sheet, funds delivered within 7 days of signature. Marcus Williams joins your board. He's scaled a company from $8 million to $200 million in AI enterprise. Dr. Patricia Okonkwo is your executive coach, tough, brilliant, experienced. I'm holding you accountable, monthly board meetings, quarterly reviews, open financial access. Amanda studied the names. These are incredible resources. They are, I said. Reserved for our highest conviction investments. I'm giving them to you because I believe in this pivot. But understand, it's professional now. I leaned forward. Our investment doesn't determine our relationship as sisters. That's separate. Rebuilding that depends on whether you see me as a full person, not just a reflection of your success. Amanda looked at me. I want that relationship. I miss having a sister. I miss the person you were before I treated you as less than. I'm still that person, I said. I just stopped waiting for recognition from our family. Lunch? She asked. Not business, just sisters. I'd like that, I said sincerely. 3 days later, the term sheet was signed, and $18 million landed in Chin Analytics' account. Amanda brought in Dr. Kuo for coaching, Marcus Williams joined the board, and the pivot began, harsh but necessary. 22 employees were let go. Mid-market customers were cut. The company refocused on enterprise and AI analytics. 6 months later, Chin Analytics landed their first Fortune 100 client, a $42 million, 3-year contract, then 4 more. Revenue soared, culture improved, and leadership stabilized. Amanda and I had lunch every other week. Sometimes business, mostly life, pressure growing up, parental expectations, who we wanted to become. Mom and Dad took longer to adjust. Dad was angry for months. Mom thought I should have waived conditions. I let them be. Slowly, things changed. Dad asked for my professional advice. Mom acknowledged both our successes. Small steps, but progress. A year after the boardroom confrontation, Chin Analytics raised Series D at $410 million valuation. My $18 million investment returned $127 million on paper, potentially $500 million if Amanda's plan executed fully. The true payoff wasn't financial. At Tech Summit, Amanda addressed 5,000 attendees. She told the story: struggling metrics, desperate fundraising, the secret VC sister in the boardroom, brutal feedback, the pivot that saved the company. The best thing that ever happened to my company, she said, was someone loving me enough to tell me the truth. even when it was painful and destroyed the narrative I'd built around myself. She looked at me in the audience. Rebecca, thank you for believing in me and never giving up on me as a sister, even when I gave up on you. I sat back, thinking of Grandma Lynn and the $50,000 she left me that started my career. Success isn't climbing over others, it's lifting them up. I whispered, I hope I made you proud, Grandma. My phone buzzed. Amanda, dinner Sunday. I want to share something exciting. And I want to hear about your week too. For real. I smiled. Deal. If you've ever had to walk away from people who didn't see your worth, set impossible boundaries, or succeed despite expectations, share your story. Sometimes the greatest gift isn't money or connections, it's honesty. And sometimes, being family means letting someone fail so they can learn to truly succeed.